Hello there and welcome. This video is going to be about Star Wars Shatterpoint, of course, but it will specifically be about what happens when you wound your opponent. There are a lot of different triggers out there now of different primaries, and there is one secondary example of your opponent being able to respond to you wounding one of their figures. So I thought I'd pull them all up and we can go through one at a time. Now, we'll start with the simplest. We do have Jedi Master Luminara and Dooley. There is no attack in response. When you wound an allied unit, when an enemy character wounds an allied unit, after the effect is resolved, a character in another allied unit may heal 3 times. So that's probably the least of your worries out of this. Then we have some where that specific character responds to itself being wounded. So the first of these, of course, is Lord Maul. When this unit is wounded by a melee attack, after the attack is resolved, one character in this unit may immediately dash and make a 5 dice attack, targeting the character that wounded it. Now, this, of course, gets stacked with Sustained by Rage, where for every 3 damage this unit has, characters in this unit add 1 die to their melee attack rolls. For each injured token this unit has, characters in this unit add 3 dice to their melee attack rolls. So that does stack with the revenge attack. So when you wound him, he will be throwing at least 8 dice at you, unless you've overwounded and given him more damage, then it might be more. Darth Vader has a similar ability, the Jedi Hunter version. His, however, is reactive, so he will have to pay a force for it, but it's when he is wounded by an attack, not just a melee attack. After the attack is resolved, you can use this ability. One character in this unit may dash and make a 5 dice melee attack targeting the character that wounded it. So similar response, no extra dice on this because your hatred makes you powerful is only for combat actions. So this one will be just 5 dice melee attack. And it has to target the character that wounded it. So you can stay out of range by making a ranged attack or being on a different elevation. But if you are close by, he will come smack you. Gideon Hask also has this ability. It is innate, and when this unit is wounded by an attack, after the effect is resolved, one character in this unit may immediately dash and make a 5 dice attack, targeting the character that wounded it. So this can be ranged or melee. He'd of course have to get out of engagement with any other non-wounded characters to make it a ranged attack, but there is that flexibility there. Then we have a set of characters that respond to other allied units, another allied unit being wounded. So first of these is the Mandalorian. When an enemy character wounds another allied unit, after the effect is resolved, one character in this unit may recover twice and then reposition. Then each other allied bounty hunter, Mandalorian, and scoundrel unit within 4 may remove one condition from itself, and they then may gain hunker. So no attack in this one, just a bunch of recovering and removing conditions from his friends, as well as giving them hunkers, giving a little extra defense after one of his buddies has been wounded. But that reposition is the largest move you can get, so just look out for him jumping back onto that point that was tied before you wounded them, because it may still be tied after that. Then we have another core box character, Ahsoka Tano. When an enemy character wounds another allied unit, after the effect is resolved, one character in this unit may advance. So same distance, but it's not a reposition. So if she's engaged, it'll be down to a dash. But this has to be toward the enemy character that caused the effect. Then the character that moved. So if she is pinned, she does not move, which means that she does not get the rest of this. But the character that moved may recover 3, or if that character is engaged with an enemy character, it may make a 5 dice attack targeting that enemy character. So this does not have to be the character that wounded the other allied unit, but she does have to obviously be engaged in order to do the 5 dice melee attack. Mother Talzin was, seemed to be one of the main kind of first wave characters that made people really start worrying about these revenge triggers. And so hers is once per turn when an enemy character wounds another allied unit. So again, another, not on wounding her. After the effect is resolved, one character in this unit may dash and then may make a 5 dice ranged attack targeting that enemy character. So this has to be ranged, and also has to target the enemy character that wounded the ally. So there's some play around here. If she's pinned, she may not be able to dash out of engagement with someone else. If she's engaged with that character even, she does have to back out in order to get the ranged attack. But that's another one to look out for. The dash, however, does not have to be toward the enemy character that did the wounding, though. So free to dash whichever way she likes. Now moving on to a new one, which is Princess Leia, charming to the last. When an enemy character wounds another allied unit, after the effect is resolved, one character in this unit may dash toward the enemy character that caused the effect, and then make a 5 dice attack targeting that character. So the move has to be towards, the attack also has to be targeting that character. Then choose another allied unit within 3, and the chosen unit gains a hunker. So kind of like Mando giving out the hunkers there, but also has the dash and 5 dice attack, all aiming at that enemy character that did the wounding. Chief Chirpa is also in this list. While this unit is not wounded, when another allied Ewok unit becomes wounded, after the effect is resolved, roll an attack die. On a crit or hit result, each character in this unit may reposition and make a 5 dice attack. On a fail or expertise result, each character in this unit may dash and heal twice. So kind of got a split of Ahsoka's ability where it's either a reposition or a dash. With the reposition gets the 5 dice attack, with the dash gets double heal. So the die is choosing for you which one it's going to be, rather than you having that choice. Some other restrictions being that he can't do it while he's wounded. It has to be an Ewok unit. But when he gets his moves and attacks, they are not restricted. No towards, and they don't have to target the character that wounded the Ewok unit. Now, next up is Count Dooku, and his is not restricted to another allied character, but it is restricted to allied primary or secondary units. So once per turn, when an allied primary unit or allied secondary unit is wounded by an enemy effect, after the effect is resolved, refresh to force. Then choose an allied Separatist Alliance supporting unit. One character in the chosen unit may dash or make a 5 dice attack. So there's some more flexibility with his response here. For one thing, he's refreshing force, but then he can choose, if they have 2 Separatist Alliance supporting units on the table, he can choose any of the 4 characters to either make a dash or do a 5 dice attack. Then we have General Solo, the part where an ally has been wounded is the second part of his identity. Once per turn, when an allied unit is wounded by an enemy character, after the effect is resolved, one character in this unit may make a 5 dice attack targeting the enemy character that caused the effect. So he doesn't get any movement out of you wounding one of his allies, and the 5 dice attack does have to target the character that caused the effect. So if he's engaged or simply out of range, he is not going to get that response. And lastly, we come to one of the more, maybe arguably the most flexible of these revenge triggers, and that is Canan, with when an allied Rebel Alliance unit is wounded by an enemy attack, after the effect is resolved, one character in this unit may heal twice and then jump. So not restricted to going towards any particular direction. And then if the wounded unit is a Spectre, one character in this unit may make a 5 dice attack. So if you're wounding a Spectre and Canan is around, he will get 2 heals, a jump wherever he wants to jump, and a 5 dice attack on whoever he feels like targeting, whether that's melee or ranged. So that is the rundown on all of these potential, what people call revenge triggers in this game, ranging from responding to you wounding that particular character and going through if you wound their buddies, and then finally no restriction on if it's them or someone else, but maybe some other caveats on the response and what tags those units have. So thank you for watching, and hopefully that helps be a little more concise summary of what is happening on the board when you wound someone. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.